All right, so the question was, what is the difference between the cosmological argument and the EP conjecture? So everyone agrees you never jump from absolute nothing to something. Therefore, always. That is, if there ever is something, there always was something. Because you never make a magic jump from absolute nothing to something. The zillion-dollar question is, how do we interpret this word always? Aristotle interprets it as backwards causation and past time. We're here, how did we get here? Something caused us, what caused that? What caused that? Boom, boom, boom. Then he says there can't be an infinite regress, and to end that, we need an uncaused cause. The EP conjecture says there's no regress to end. The simple idea is the base case must have satisfied this condition of always. No original something can emerge from absolute nothing or cause itself, because something can't ever exist if it's never existed. And what that means is, if you exist, whatever you are, however you exist, you've had at least one instance of identity. Of what? Yourself. So we prioritize this always exister. We need an instance of always identity if there ever is existence. We exist, therefore as a factual necessity, we need at least one, minimally at least one. All always satisfy an a priori definition. What is the word a priori? Uncaused, at and as the global origin. Okay. So a priori means it's independent of us. It's independent of our language, independent of our customs, independent of our values. It's something that aliens from another place would come to the same definition, or something that people thinking from all over the world, different spaces and times, would come to the same definition. To always exist means to exist as uncaused, at and as the global origin. There's nothing before always, otherwise it's not always. And that uncausedness is before all time. It's something that, so imagine A, right arrow B, A, right arrow A, blank, right arrow A. So there's no B, there just always is, if you will. They're all at the same global origin because none can be before another. Therefore, they line up at the same global origin. So whether there's one or many, right at the jump, they all need to satisfy this definition. By the right arrow, what I mean is causation. What I mean is a process or time that you're a result of something. And you might say, oh, they cause themselves. That's the problem, is you're not there to cause yourself unless you've paid that debt of identity. So as a rationalist, all things that exist do. All things have had at least one instance of identity. So you're not there to cause yourself, and you can't emerge from absolute nothing. That's a farce. So you might say, oh, it's just A, or all the A's that are there, which are just that A. There's one first where as the only first what. And you realize what's there is there, so there's no alternative possibilities. Because there's nothing before always, no alternative somethings, nor the alternative of nothing. And it's before all time. All of them are. Meaning it's before all process, before all change, thus before all difference. That one possible original possibility was necessarily as is. You elevate from factual necessity, yes, we exist. Yes, there's minimally at least one always. You realize all of the always somethings are logically necessary. Further, it's also a uniqueness argument because there's only one of them. And you say, why? Well, that global origin exists all together and all at once, and it's before all time, and it's existing as one exister. But analytically, what's so beautiful is, what if it's not even just A? What if it's unencoded? What if it's an exister that exists as the inherent original identity, which has no parts and is intrinsically logically necessary? 0-bit solution, before all time, without our space and without bits. That exister isn't like a G equation. It doesn't have a representation. That's a category error. Just like you shouldn't encode nothing, you shouldn't encode always. And that's like potentially a very deep insight. But basically the point is, you don't think backwards to the source. If you've seen that movie Ready Player One, where they're like driving the cars, trying to get further and further along, and they think they're getting closer and closer to the finish. They're actually going in the wrong direction. You don't think backwards to the identity of the source. You see this thing, oh wow, the base case is always, and I prioritize the base case because it has first priority. All identities relate to the global origin, coming with or after, never before or without. So you prioritize that instance of identity, that kernel. That's the 0 of nature. There's no regress to end. You don't think backwards to the source. And why is there something rather than nothing? This thing is necessary. If you have something necessary in the first place, you'll never have only nothing. But it's also unending, and first and last. So that's the more comprehensive answer to the question. But it's an acosmological argument to answer what is the difference. If that's clear, please let me know.